Bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous allez bien et bienvenue au cours 8 de français langue seconde. Okay, so what are we going to look at today? Déroulement du cours. First of all, we are going to look at closed questions and open questions. So after today's class, you'll be able to ask questions, okay, any type of questions. So it's going to be a little bit bulky. So I would advise you, if you want to go make your coffee and come back, go ahead, okay? It's going to be a very interesting class today. After this, we are going to look at expression pour faire connaissance avec quelqu'un, okay? So just a small vocabulary basically, okay? When you get to know someone, what do you say, okay? So after that, we are going to do simulation. So basically you and your partner at home, you can practice. I will coordinate you with what I expect from you. That's it. So the main class today is going to be about questions, closed questions and open questions. All right. So we'll begin with question fermée. Okay, closed question. First of all, what is closed question? Okay, closed question means that it's a question that can be answered by yes or no. Okay, so the person don't get the chance to elaborate much on these types of questions. Okay, it can only be answered by yes or no. So now we have three ways. Okay, we have three ways of asking a closed questions. Okay, so first of all, okay, you use intonation. Okay, first one is you use intonation. For example, if I say vous êtes dentiste, vous êtes dentiste, okay, you're supposed to know that we did dentiste. Dentiste, it's a métier, it's a profession. It means dentist. All right, vous êtes, it's the verb to be. Exactly, we did that in the previous class. All right, donc vous êtes dentiste means you're dentist. The first way intonation would be like you increase the intonation at the end, and automatically it becomes a question in French. Okay, so vous êtes dentiste? Vous êtes dentiste? That's a question. Okay. Second thing. Okay. Second way. So it's by the use of est-ce que. Okay. You're going to use est-ce que here. Okay. Est-ce que. Est-ce que, if you put that before any sentence, it becomes a question. Okay. For example, vous êtes dentiste, you're a dentist. Est-ce que vous êtes dentiste? Okay. Are you a dentist? Okay. Tu manges? You're eating. Est-ce que tu manges? Are you eating? That's it. Est-ce que? That's the second way. Now, the third way. Okay, the third way, how are we going to do that? Still, it's a closed question. You don't use est-ce que. There is no est-ce que. What we are going to do here. Okay, so for example, in the sentence, vous êtes dentiste. In the affirmation, vous êtes dentiste, we have vous, which is the pronoun that acts as a subject, basically the subject, and then être, which is the verb. Okay, donc subject verb. In the third way of asking a question, what are we going to do? It's basically we're just going to invert it, and that's it. Okay, donc vous êtes dentiste become êtes-vous dentiste? So if you invert the subject and the verb, it becomes a question. Êtes-vous dentiste? Tu parles anglais? Parles-tu anglais? Etc. Okay, so three ways. Okay, I will repeat them. First, intonation. You increase your tone at the end. Second, est-ce que. You add est-ce que before the sentence. Third, it's inversion. So you invert the subject and the verb. That's it. Okay? All right. So that was for closed questions. Now, I want you to implement it with this exercise. Okay? So we have a couple of exercises. All right. So pause the video and do it on your own. And then once you're done, you check the answer that I'm about to give you. Okay? Donc, what I expect from you here. Okay? Donc, convertissez ces phrases en questions en haussant la voix à la fin. Okay? Donc, convert these sentences into questions en haussant means like to by heightening. Okay, so you heighten your voice at the end. So basically you increase your tone. Okay, that's the first way. Second way, by using est-ce que, en utilisant, utiliser c'est le verb to use. Okay, revise your verb. And thirdly, by using the inversion du pronom et le verbe. So you invert the subject and the verb. All right. Okay, so for every single one of them, you have to give me 3 answers. Okay, so prepare it. Okay. All right, let's correct. Tu aimes le chocolat? Okay, donc tu aimes le chocolat means you like chocolate. It's an affirmation. Intonation is going to be tu aimes le chocolat? That sounds like a question. Tu aimes le chocolat? Okay. Deuxième, est-ce que tu aimes le chocolat? Okay. Troisième, aimes-tu le chocolat? That's it. Okay. Second one, il fait beau aujourd'hui. Okay. Il fait beau aujourd'hui, it's going to be, first of all, il fait beau aujourd'hui? Il fait beau aujourd'hui? Okay. Deuxième, second, okay, it's going to be, est-ce qu'il fait beau aujourd'hui? Okay. Now, I will show you something. I will write this for you. Est-ce que, here we are going to put it before the sentence. Right? Est-ce que. Now, remember what I said. We cannot have 2 vowels together. Okay? Donc, we cannot say est-ce que il. What we are going to do, basically it's that, but we are going to remove the first E. Okay? We are going to put an apostrophe. Okay? Est-ce qu'il fait beau aujourd'hui? Okay, that's it. Est-ce qu'il fait beau aujourd'hui? Okay. You have to do an elision here. All right. Okay. Donc, est-ce qu'il fait beau aujourd'hui? Thirdly, it's going to be fait-il beau aujourd'hui? Okay. Now, I want you to pay attention here. Fait-il beau aujourd'hui? Okay, we invert the subject and the verb. And one thing, okay, every time you do the inversion, very important, you have to put a small dash in between. Okay, you have to put a small dash, otherwise it's a mistake. Okay, donc fait-il, I will write it for you. It's going to be like that. Fait-il beau aujourd'hui? Okay, fait-il, we invert. All right. Okay, let's continue. Tu habites à Paris. Okay. Intonation. Tu habites à Paris? Secondly, est-ce que tu habites à Paris? Okay. Troisièmement, habites-tu à Paris? Okay. Inversion. Habites-tu à Paris? Okay. This one. Elle s'appelle Marie. Okay. Question maintenant et intonation. Elle s'appelle Marie? Elle s'appelle Marie? Okay. Second. Est-ce qu'elle s'appelle Marie? Okay. Thirdly, s'appelle-t-elle Marie? Okay. All right. Here, I will tell you something. First of all, elle s'appelle Marie means her name is Marie. Why is there a small S apostrophe here? Okay. I will just give you a brief explanation because we have a clause coming on that. Okay, basically what is it here? It's a specific type of verb. It's called pronominal verb. Les verbes pronominaux. Okay? Donc en gros, when the action is being done on yourself, you have to add a small pronoun. This basically here, it's a pronoun. Okay? I'm not gonna confuse you much about that. We have a whole clause coming on this. Okay? In a few weeks from now. Alright, so for right now, just know that elle s'appelle Marie means she calls herself Marie. That's the way we say that in French. Okay? Donc her name is Marie basically. Alright, so that was just a small aperçu for the S. Okay? Now, let's take a look at the answer I was asking you. Okay, donc elle s'appelle Marie. Elle s'appelle Marie. Intonation. Deuxièmement, est-ce qu'elle s'appelle Marie? We add est-ce que before. Est-ce qu'elle s'appelle Marie? We are going to do the same thing here. Est-ce qu'elle Q-U apostrophe E-L-L-E. All right. Now, for the third one, intonation, inversion. Okay, donc, that's it. We have the verb, okay, of course you keep the pronoun, all right. S'appelle, okay. Now, here, listen carefully what I'm about to tell you. Very important. When you do the inversion, okay, when you do the inversion for the verb and the subject, okay, if the verb ends with vowel, okay, and the subject starts with a vowel, when you invert it, it's going to have two vowels together, okay, and like I said, you cannot have that in French, okay. So what are we going to do here? We are going to add a T, okay. Here is it. S'appelle-t-elle Marie? Okay. So you always have to add this if it ends with a vowel and the subject starts with a vowel. When you invert it, of course. Okay, you have to put this T. S'appelle-t-elle Marie? All right. So you'll have to apply this rule everywhere you see like two vowels together during an inversion. All right, let's keep going. Vous allez au cinéma ce soir. Okay, you're going to the cinema tonight. Vous allez au cinéma ce soir? Vous allez au cinéma ce soir? That was for the intonation. Secondly, est-ce que vous allez au cinéma ce soir? Est-ce que? Okay. Thirdly, allez-vous au cinéma ce soir? Okay. Allez-vous? We're going to do the inversion. Don't forget the small dash in between. Very important. Okay. Allez-vous? Okay. Allez-vous au cinéma ce soir? Ok. On continue. 6. Tu as un chien. You have a dog. Tu as un chien. Ok. Intonation is going to be tu as un chien? Tu as un chien? Ok. Deuxième. Est-ce que tu as un chien? Do you have a dog? Est-ce que tu as un chien? Est-ce que? Thirdly, inversion. Ok. As-tu un chien? As-tu un chien? Ok. AS tiré tu. As-tu un chien? Ok. On continue. 7e. Il travaille à la maison. Il travaille à la maison? Il travaille à la maison? Ok. Secondly, ok. Est-ce qu'il travaille à la maison? Ok. Est-ce qu'il travaille à la maison? So, how are you going to write est-ce que? And then if it's followed by il. I will see if you've learned what I said. Exactly. You put an apostrophe and il. Ok. Donc, est-ce qu'il travaille à la maison? And thirdly, ok. Travaille-t-il à la maison? Ok. Travaille-t-il à la maison? So here, how did you write travaille-t-il? I will test you on that too. Here it ends with a vowel. Il starts with a vowel. So we add a T. Travaille-t-il à la maison? Le voici. Here you go. All right. Ok, donc ça c'était pour les questions fermées. It was for the closed questions. Ok. Now we are going to look at questions ouvertes. Okay, open questions. Okay, all right. So here, open question. Let's go by the definition. What is open question? Open question basically means when you ask a question that can be answered beyond yes or no. Okay, so you can answer how, why, when, etc., etc. Okay, these are called open question. The one who answers get to elaborate on his answer. Okay, all right. So here, what are we going to use? In open questions, we are going to use something that we called mot interrogatif. Okay, the interrogative word, mot interrogatif. All right, so I will give you a list, okay, from myself. This is very limited, but I will give you a list which encompasses everything. Okay, so write it down with me. Okay, so what I was saying, I will give you a list of mots interrogatifs, which you have to learn by heart. Okay, so here is it. Okay. Okay, first of all, we have the list is actually on the top. I've put it, and this is your next exercise, by the way. All right. So we have comment. Comment means what? It means how. Okay. Comment means how. Quand. Okay. Quand means when. Où. Où means what? It means where. Okay. Combien. This one is interesting. Combien means what? It means how much or how many. Okay. How much or how many. In English, we don't have a specific word for that, but in French, we do have combien. Okay. Donc, it's either how much or how many. How much money, how many people, etc. And then we have qui. Qui is who. Okay. And obviously, qui it's a question about the subject. Okay. You will understand why I mentioned this sentence right now when you are going to do the exercise. Okay. And then we have pourquoi. Pourquoi means why. Okay, pourquoi, why. And then we have quoi. Okay, quoi, it means what. Okay, quoi, basically it answers the what. And then now I will tell you, in some situation you'll have to write it as que. You cannot write quoi. Okay, but you will see when the time comes. Okay, when should we use que? Okay, so write this down. Those are the mots interrogatifs. Those are the interrogative words. Okay, repeat after me. Comment, quand, où, combien, qui, pourquoi, and lastly we have quoi ou que. Okay, all right. Here you go. All right. Now, you already learned the vocabulary, okay, of mots interrogatif. Now I will help you understand the mechanic behind, okay, because you also need to know how to place them so that you are able to make a good question. Okay, let me put you into context. So you have situation informelle and situation formelle. Okay, basically, what I want you to learn, okay, is situation formelle. Okay, that's standard French, and I want you just to speak in a very proper way, in a very eloquent way. Okay, all right. So, situation formelle. Let's start with that. Donc, situation formelle. What you're going to do is that first step, always first step. You take the mot interrogatif. You take it, you put it at the beginning of the sentence. Done. That's one thing. Second thing now, very important. And that's what we've looked at in question fermée, closed questions. The third one, what was it? Inversion, right? Okay. So when you're asking an open question, you have to do the inversion as well. Okay. So formel, like I was saying, forget this completely for right now. Okay. All right. So what I'll repeat. First step, you move the mot interrogatif at the beginning. Okay. Second step, now you have to do the inversion as well. Okay. So just two things basically. You put the word interrogative at the beginning, and then you do the inversion, and that's it. You have your formal open question already set up. Okay. So let's take a look. For example, habiter, it's the verb to live. Habiter means to live. Okay. Donc, où habitez-vous? Où means where. Où, and then you see we inverted that. Où habitez-vous? You have to do it. Okay. It's very important. Comment t'appelles-tu? Okay. T'appelles-tu means, like I said, appeler means when you, it's the verb to call, like your name. Je m'appelle Yacine. I call myself Yacine. Ok. Donc, comment t'appelles-tu? Ok. Comment t'appelles-tu? Ici, we have the interrogative word, and then t'appelles-tu. We inverted it. Okay. All right. So that was for situation formelle. Situation formelle. Now, situation informelle. Okay. So when you're talking, you can do that sometimes. The only difference is going to be that you don't do the inversion. As simple as that. Okay. Donc, où vous habitez? Okay. Où vous habitez? Or we can even put the mot interrogative at the end. Okay. For informal. Vous habitez où? You can say that too. Okay. Vous habitez où? You see? Here is it. All right. And what we can notice as well, there is no inversion. That's for the informal way. Okay. So for the formal way, you have to put the word interrogative at the beginning, and then you do the inversion. All right. So for right now, I want you to implement the formal situation. Okay, the rules of the formal situation. Okay, let's go. Exercise. So pause the video, do it on your own, and then you take the corrections. Okay, the first one, I've done it for you. Okay, so here you have the list again. Comment? Quand? Où? Combien? Qui? And then pourquoi? And then que. All right. So use those words to make your questions. Okay, I'll put it like this. Let's start with the first half. Okay. Tu t'appelles. You call yourself. Okay. Donc, and here, so I already gave you. Okay. That's the first exercise. There are more complex exercises coming on. First step, I already gave you the mot interrogative. You don't have to choose which one is it. You just have to use it. Okay. Tu t'appelles. Okay. In bracket, I gave you comment. Comment means how. So it's going to be comment t'appelles-tu? Remember I said I want formal rule, the formal rule of asking question. Okay, donc comment t'appelles-tu? First thing, we put the mot interrogative at the beginning. I've mentioned that many times. Second thing, you invert the verb and the subject. Comment t'appelles-tu? That's it, that's a question. All right, work this on your own, and then you take the answers. We'll put that here at the same time. Okay, if you're done with this one, work this part now. All right, if you're done doing it on your own, let's correct. Let's go. Deuxième, the second one, okay? Elle arrive, it's going to be quand arrive. Here, what are we going to do? Exactly, we have to put the T. Don't forget, because we have two vowels when we do the inversion. Donc, quand arrive-t-elle? Ok. Prochain. Troisième, third. Ils habitent où? Ok. Où habitent-ils? Here, as you see, we don't have to put any T. Why? Because it already ends with a consonant, and here it starts with a vowel. So there is no illusion to make. Ok, quatrième plutôt. Ok, quatrième. Tu vas en vacances. Ok, you're going on vacation. Quand vas-tu en vacances? Quand vas-tu en vacances? Ok, donc mot interrogatif, and then we inverted the verb and the subject. Cinquième, on continue. Vous travaillez où? Où travaillez-vous? Where do you work? Où travaillez-vous? Ok, on continue ici. Ça coûte. Ça coûte. Coûter means cost. Ok. Ok, here I've used ça for a reason. Ok. Donc ça means this, like this. Okay, ça it's informal. Okay, if you want to say it in a formal way, we say cela. Okay, it's the same thing as ça. This is informal, this is formal. All right, ça coûte means it cost. Okay, it cost, this cost. Okay, combien means how much or how many. All right, donc here, what we are going to do is that we are going to say combien. Since ça is informal, so here we have an informal sentence, we have to say combien ça coûte. All right, you see, we did not do the inversion here because ça is informal. Now, let's say if I would have given you the word cela, so it would have been combien coûte cela. Okay. Combien coûte cela? Formal, informal. And since I gave you ça, the answer would be the first one. Ok. On continue. Septième. Seven. Elle commence son travail. Quand? Donc, quand? Quand commence-t-elle? The T, don't forget. Quand commence-t-elle son travail? Ok. On continue. Ok. Vous partez en voyage. Okay, you're going on vacation. It's going to be quand partez-vous en voyage? Okay. Interrogation. Quand partez-vous en voyage? When are you going to vacation? Okay. Deuxième. Ils viennent. Ils viennent, it's the verb to come. Okay. Donc, they are coming. Comment? Comment means how. Comment viennent-ils? Okay. How are they coming? By bus, by foot, etc. etc. Okay. Troisième. Il est ton professeur. Alright, this one, it's a little bit different. Remember what I said. Qui means who. Okay, so here, when we have who, it's basically a question about the subject. Okay, so we don't use any of these rules. Okay, it's different. And it's the easiest actually. The only thing you have to do when you have qui, you just remove the subject. And you replace it with qui, which is who. That's it. Okay, so it's going to be qui est ton professeur? Okay, who is your teacher? Qui est ton professeur? Ok. Prochain. Tu fais ça, pourquoi? So it's going to be pourquoi, interrogation word at the beginning. Pourquoi tu fais ça? Okay, question. Why did I not do the inversion here? Exactly, because we have ça. Why do you do this? Ça, as I said, it's informal. Okay, if I would have said cela, then it would have been pourquoi fais-tu cela? Then we would have used the inversion. But here, since it's ça, it's informal, we don't do the inversion. Pourquoi tu fais ça? That's it. Why do you do this? On continue. Elle chante cette chanson. She sings this song. Okay, here we have a question on the subject. So we just replace elle by qui. Qui chante cette chanson? Who is singing this song? Ok, alright, on continue. Vous mangez à midi. Alright, this is the only one that I gave you for que, like I said, it's a way of saying quoi, which answers the what. Okay, vous mangez à midi. Okay, so basically what I expect from you is what are you eating? Midi means noon. What are you eating at noon? It's going to be que mangez-vous à midi? Que mangez-vous à midi? What are you eating at noon? Que mangez-vous à midi? All right. Ils finissent les devoirs. Here again, it's about the subject. Donc, qui finissent les devoirs? Okay. Qui finissent les devoirs? Who is finishing their homework? Okay, that's it. Finissent, c'est le verbe finir, which is to finish. Okay. All right, last one. Okay. C'est ton livre. C'est ton livre. Here we have où. Où means where. Okay. It's just a way I found to present the sentence. Okay. Donc here, c'est means c'est ton livre. You remember we are presenting. This is your book. So if we want to answer a question about où, let's forget the c'est. Okay. We are going to say où est ton livre? Où est ton livre? Where is your book? Où est ton livre? All right, here you go, all your answers. Okay, and here you see there is no inversion or such or nothing because it's où, okay, and there is no subject here. It's basically just asking about a place, a location. Où est ton livre? All right. Okay, if you want to take a small break, go ahead and we'll continue as we have more exercise coming on. All right, so let's continue. Okay, so the first exercise that we had, I already gave you the mot interrogatif in brackets, so you already knew what to use. Now, exercise 2, a little bit more complex. So here, what I expect from you basically is that I'm going you have the list of the mots interrogatifs to be used. Donc, où, where, quand means when, comment means how, or you have quand or combien. Quand again, basically combien. How much, okay? How much or how many combien. Okay, donc you have 4 options. Où, quand, comment, and combien. All right. Donc, ici, here, you will see that here, I want you to ask a question. And here you have the answer. You will see that in the sentence we have 2 different colors. So in the red part, you have the element that answers the question that I want you to ask. Okay, so basically you have to look at the red writings, Okay, and then you have to ask the proper question that answers those elements. Okay, so go ahead, it's not hard. I will help you with understanding those sentences. All right, and then you do it on your own. Okay, let me zoom it. Okay. Donc, for example, let's take a look at the first one. Ce midi, je mange à la maison. Ce midi means this noon. This noon I eat at home. Donc, if we have ce midi, this noon, we have to use quand. Quand means when. Quand est-ce que tu manges à la maison? Okay. Quand est-ce que tu manges à la maison? Okay. By the way, you see, quand est-ce que tu manges à la maison? We could also have said, quand manges-tu à la maison? Okay, it's all fine. You can say, est-ce que tu manges? Or you can say, quand manges-tu à la maison? It's not a problem. Okay. Alright, on y va. Deuxième. I will help you with understanding the sentences first, and then you do it on your own. Je me repose dans le jardin. I rest myself, okay, me repose. Remember what I said, it's a verb pronominal, se reposer. Okay, I rest myself. We have a complete clause coming on that, don't worry. Okay, you're going to understand this. Just know that me is a pronoun, okay, that we have to put before a certain list of verbs, a specific list of verbs. We have to put a pronoun before. Okay, je me repose dans le jardin. I rest myself in the garden. Dans le jardin. L'été, je voyage en train. In summer, I travel in train, by train. Okay. In summer, I travel by train. Demain, je vais faire un gâteau. Okay. Tomorrow, I will make a cake. Elle promène le chien dans le parc. Okay. She's walking her dog in the park. Elle va à l'école en autobus. She goes to school by bus. Elle paie ce crayon $15. Okay, elle paie ce crayon $15. It's, she pays for this pencil $15. Okay. Payer, it's the verb to pay. Il écrit avec un style. He writes with a style. Okay. Il écrit avec un style with a style. Okay. Nous achetons des souliers au magasin. We buy shoes at the shop. Okay. Acheter is to buy. Souliers, by the way, it's not very formal. Okay, we say nous achetons des chaussures. You can as well say souliers, it's fine. Okay. Elle cuisine avec des légumes. Elle cuisine avec des légumes. She cooks with vegetables. Alright, donc ici, ce midi, dans le jardin, en train, demain, dans le parc, en autobus, $15 avec un style, au magasin, avec des légumes. Ok, alright. Okay, so if you're done with the classwork, let's take a look at the answers. Okay, so I've already prepared them for you. Okay, donc je me repose dans le jardin. So here it's where? In the garden. Où te reposes-tu? And here, don't get stressed out. Why do we have the two? Basically, like I said, we have a whole class coming on next, okay, about verb pronominal. Okay, donc un verbe pronominal, it means when you have an action that is being done on yourself, and then you will have to use a second pronoun before the verb. Okay, donc here I already gave it to you. Je me repose, tu te reposes, but don't get stressed out. We have the class coming next. You will understand everything. Okay, now, troisième. L'été, je voyage en train. During summer, I travel by train. Comment voyages-tu en été? Comment voyages-tu en été? How? Quatrième. Demain, je vais faire un gâteau. Ok, donc demain is when. So we are going to say quand. Quand vas-tu faire un gâteau? When are you going to make a cake? Ok. Elle promène le chien dans le parc. Où promène-t-elle le chien? Where is she walking her dog? Okay, here the T, don't forget, because we have two vowels together when we do the inversion. So it has to be cut off by a T in between. Okay, and 6. Elle va à l'école en autobus. She goes by school by bus. Donc, elle va. Comment va-t-elle à l'école? Comment va-t-elle à l'école? Septième. Ok. Elle paye ce crayon à 15 dollars. Ok, on dit payer à 15 dollars. Donc, à combien paye-t-elle ce crayon? Combien c'est how much or how many? Ok. Ensuite, on a il écrit avec un style. Ok. Comment écrit-il? Ok. Il écrit avec un style. Comment écrit-il? Ok, with a style. Comment? Nous achetons des chaussures au magasin. Souliers and chaussures is basically synonym. Okay, but let's use chaussures. It's more formal. It's better. Okay, chaussures means shoes. Nous achetons des chaussures au magasin. Où achetons-nous des chaussures? Où achetons-nous des chaussures? So the mot interrogatif and then the inversion as we've done. Okay, and okay. Lastly, elle cuisine avec des légumes. She cooks with vegetables. Donc, it's going to be comment cuisine-t-elle? How does she cook? Okay, here, two things I would just like to say. Okay, like I said, we have upcoming clauses. We have verb pronominaux. Okay, donc when you have an action that is being done on yourself, what are the pronouns to use before? So, there is this that we're going to cover. There is here, je vais faire un gâteau. V is basically the verb aller, which is to go. But if we put it before a different verb à l'infinitif, means unconjugated, we put it before, it simply means you're talking about the future. Okay? So don't worry, we're going to look at these two notions next. Okay? And you're going to be able to understand that. Alright, so for right now, those are your answers. If you got everything right, you're going in the right direction. Okay, so don't hesitate to redo the classwork if ever needed. Okay, try to master this. It will help you in life when you are about to talk. Okay, okay. Let's continue. Okay, now we're going to look at the last part of the class. Okay, so like I was saying, expression pour faire connaissance avec quelqu'un. What do you say when you get to meet someone? Okay. All right. Donc, just a small revision first because it's going to be used in the simulation that is coming next. So that's why I've put it. Okay. Le vous de politesse. Remember, vous, it addresses to a group of people. Okay, but it can also be addressed to only one person out of respect. Remember, if you're talking, for example, to your parent, to someone who's hierarchically higher, the teacher, the boss, etc. And or the most important, if you're talking to a stranger, you have to use vous. You cannot say tu. Okay, that was just a small parallel to draw with what's coming next. Okay. Okay. Now, let's take a look at a few sentences that you're going to say when you get to meet someone. Okay, donc contexte informel, ça me fait plaisir. It does me pleasure. Okay. Secondly, je suis content de te rencontrer. I'm happy to meet you. Okay. Je suis heureuse de te connaître. Je suis heureux de te connaître. Okay. I'm happy to know you. Connaître. Contexte formel. Okay. Enchanté. Enchanté. Okay. Enchanté means like I'm glad. Je suis content de vous rencontrer. Okay. What I just showed you previously, vous, out of respect. Te, it's informal. Okay. Je suis heureux de vous connaître. Okay. Donc, vous, again, out of respect. Je suis heureux, I am happy to know you. Okay. Ici, content, masculin, avec e with e, it's feminine. Heureux, masculine. If you're a boy, you say, if you're a man, you say heureux. If you're a girl, you say heureuse. Okay? Masculine, feminine. All right. Now, I will just make it simple for you. The one that is more common, we usually say enchanté. Enchanté. Simple. Okay? When do you use enchanté? Enchanté, basically, as soon as you get the person's name, you use enchanté. Okay, so as soon as you exchange your names, you say enchanté. I'm glad. All right. Last part, simulation. Okay, donc here I want you to work this out with your partner, okay, at home. So it's a small revision on everything that we've covered until now in these online classes, okay? So let's take a look. I want you to make a small conversation with your partner, okay? So there are points that I want you to include. Okay, it's going to act as a revision as well of everything that we've done. So first, salutation à l'arrivée. What do you say when you just got into the room? What do you say? You greet. How do you greet? Okay, refer to class 1. Une question, réponse de connaissance. Okay, this like you ask a question about the person. Okay, what's your name? Okay, remember we did a class on that as well, many ways of asking that. So basically that's all it means, une question de connaissance. And then remember what we just did previously in the previous slide. Okay, so you get to know the person's name. What do you say? I want that as well. And then question de politesse, a polite question. How are you doing? Okay, and then a specific question that is given by the teacher. Okay, so basically here what I'm gonna tell you, you choose whichever one you want here. Okay, I won't impose any of you, you choose whichever one you want here, and then you ask that question. We did all of these, you should be able to use them. And lastly, salutation au départ. What do you say when you're leaving? Okay, all right, I let you prepare that. Take your time, prepare it, it takes time, so do a proper job. Okay, so let's go ahead. Okay, I will make a fictional conversation. Basically, it's going to be between my right hand and my left hand. Okay, so let's go. Salutation à l'arrivée. Bonjour. Bonjour. Comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle Jacques. Et toi? Je m'appelle Sophie. Enchanté. Enchanté. Okay, very important. Don't forget, when you get to know the person's name, you say enchanté. All right. Question de politesse. Okay. Comment vas-tu? How are you doing? Comment vas-tu? Je vais bien, merci. Et toi? Je vais bien, merci. Question now. So I will look at all of them. What time is it? Quelle heure est-il? Okay. Il est 8 heures, par exemple. Let's say. From which day to which day do you work? It's going to be what? De quel jour à quel jour travailles-tu? Okay. This we've looked as well in the previous class. Revise. De quel jour à quel jour travailles-tu? Je travaille du lundi au vendredi. Okay. Where do you come from? D'où viens-tu? D'où viens-tu? Je viens d'Afrique. Okay. What languages do you speak? Quelle langue parles-tu? Okay. Je parle anglais, français et le créole. What is your profession? Quel est ton métier? Or, quelle est ta profession? Je suis professeur. Okay, all right. So, that was it for the question. And of course, you may have different answers. Okay, this is just to coordinate you. All right. Okay, and then lastly, what do you say? You're leaving. Au revoir. Au revoir. That's it. Okay, so that was a revision as well on every single thing that we've learned about the oral part. Okay. Ok, donc devoir pour la prochaine fois. Homework. Page 30, page 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. So like I said, keep doing your homework for right now, and at the end of all the classes, I will be giving you the answers of all of them. Okay? So, and that said, as always, it's a pleasure, and have a good night. Bye-bye.